There's something strange happening in the world of design. The skincare brand you just bought from looks oddly similar to the sleek furniture label you've had your eye on, which in turn looks almost exactly like that boutique pet food brand you just saw on Instagram. It's as if every brand decided to slip into the same muted pastels, minimalist fonts, and sterile white space. Here's the kicker. This isn't just about matching aesthetics. It's silently reshaping how we shop and what we remember. A Stanford study shows consumers can name barely half as many brands as they could a few years ago. From skincare to furniture to pet food, everything's collapsing into one big beige blur. Stick around because we're digging into the reasons for this sudden sameness. From Silicon Valley's obsession with data-driven design to our own craving for instant trust, there's a reason your favorite brands feel like clones. If you've ever wondered why every logo and label on your feed looks the same, buckle up. What's behind this bland revolution reveals where brand design is headed and why it matters more than you think. The transformation of brand identity tells a fascinating story of cultural change. Consider Coca-Cola's journey. In the 1950s, their distinctive red wasn't just a color choice, it was scientifically selected to trigger appetite response and emotional engagement. Their cursive logo was designed to be instantly recognizable from any angle. McDonald's golden arches were precisely engineered to be visible from a quarter-mile away on America's expanding highway system. Today's landscape couldn't be more different. Let's look at the tech giant's evolution. Google abandoned their playful, multicolored logo for a more austere sans-serif design. Apple, once celebrated for their rainbow logo and candy-colored iMacs, now presents themselves almost exclusively in minimalist whites and greys. Even Microsoft shifted from their dynamic, waving flag to a flat, four-square design. The numbers tell the story. The Color Marketing Group's analysis reveals that the average brand palette has shrunk from 5 distinct colors in the 1980s to just over 2 today. Walk down any premium retail aisle, and you'll see this play out in real time, from Aesop's brown bottles to public goods' stark white packaging, from Away's minimal luggage to Fellow's monochromatic coffee gear. This visual conformity now manifests across different sectors. In skincare, examine the Instagram feeds of Glossier, Merit Beauty, and Nécessaire side by side. You'll find identical patterns, close-up shots of product texture against neutral backgrounds, lifestyle images bathed in soft, natural light, and carefully arranged flat lays that could have been shot by the same photographer. The wellness category tells a similar story. Compare Care of, Ritual, and Moon Juice's websites. Each features the same elements: scientific illustrations rendered in thin lines, floating supplement bottles, and testimonials presented in identical lightweight fonts. Their packaging relies on the same visual shortcuts for premium, minimal type, lots of white space, and muted color palettes. Even the pet industry has succumbed to this aesthetic convergence. Study Wild Ones and the Farmer's Dog's marketing materials, desaturated photography, clean lines, and perfectly posed pets in minimalist environments. For direct-to-consumer, or DTC brands, the challenge is particularly acute. These digital native companies face a complex battlefield where they must compete against established global players with century-old brand equity and massive marketing budgets. A DTC skincare brand launching today isn't just competing with other startups. It's going up against L'Oreal, Estée Lauder, and countless other giants. This asymmetric warfare has led many DTC brands to embrace what we might call trust shortcuts. Without the luxury of time or resources to build brand recognition organically, they opt for design elements that research shows consumers already associate with reliability and quality. The result is a self-reinforcing cycle. As more DTC brands adopt these safe visual cues, they become even more strongly associated with trustworthiness, encouraging further adoption. Consider the financial reality. The average DTC brand spends 30% of its revenue on customer acquisition, compared to just 8% for traditional retailers. When every marketing dollar must work overtime, experimenting with distinctive brand identities becomes a luxury many cannot afford. Modern design decisions are increasingly driven by data rather than intuition. Eye-tracking studies reveal that we make initial judgments about brand trustworthiness in just 50 milliseconds. This microscopic window has forced designers to optimize for instant recognition rather than lasting impression. Social media algorithms have become the arbiters of visual trust. On Instagram, examine how successful posts from brands like Glossier created a template others rushed to follow. Soft, minimal product photography, sans serif typography, and carefully curated user-generated content that maintains aesthetic consistency. The influence extends to email marketing and digital advertising. A/B testing consistently shows higher engagement rates for certain design patterns: centered text blocks, minimal color palettes, and abundant negative space. The result? A digital landscape where differentiation has become a casualty of optimization. However, some brands are successfully breaking the mold while maintaining trust. Let's examine these rebels. Liquid Death brings heavy metal aesthetics to water, defying every convention of premium beverage design. Their skull-adorned tallboys stand in stark contrast to the minimalist designs of other premium water brands. The result? A $700 million valuation by 2022. Their success proves that consumers are hungry for visual disruption. Fly by Jing offers another compelling example. In the crowded condiment space, they embrace vibrant reds and traditional Chinese design elements. Their packaging features bold illustrations and typography that draws from Chinese cultural heritage while remaining contemporary. Their success demonstrates how cultural authenticity can differentiate a brand more effectively than minimalist design ever could. Parade has revolutionized the intimates category through bold visual choices. Their marketing materials burst with energy, saturated colors, playful animations, and typography that breaks all the rules of current DTC design. Their rapid growth suggests that younger consumers, in particular, are tired of the minimalist aesthetic. The future of brand identity lies in understanding how to balance trust with distinctiveness. The most successful brands of tomorrow will be those that understand three key principles. First, trust signals don't require complete visual conformity. As Youth to the People demonstrates, brands can maintain professionalism while expressing unique personality through selective rule-breaking. Second, cultural authenticity can be more powerful than minimalist design. Fly by Jing's success shows how embracing cultural heritage can create stronger consumer connections than following design trends. Third, younger consumers are increasingly drawn to brands that reject the minimalist template entirely. Liquid Death's success proves that standing out dramatically can be more effective than fitting in perfectly. The future of brand identity isn't a choice between standing out and fitting in. It's about understanding how to do both simultaneously. As we move forward, the brands that thrive will be those that create new visual languages of trust, rather than simply copying existing ones. Liked that deep dive into bland branding? Hit the subscribe button for more Business Sherlock investigations.